Yeah, Governor Shine there alongside Sylvie Wonder at the place.
You give thanks and praise, you know, that StingRay Studio, you know, don't know, say,
London,
vibe,
England.
You know? Blessed, you know.
Alongside Star Vibes Entertainment. So check it out. We're here.
Star Vibe! A Sylvie Wonder, you know, don't know.
StingRay! So we still.
Hi, I'm NT Isis along with Star Vibes Entertainment, and I'm here to talk with Dillie from StingRay Studios. So how are you today?
I'm good. Blessed.
You've been busy in the studio today?
Always.
Always.
Yes. You come and interrupt me just now.
Oh, well, we had to come and talk to the best. So
yes,
let's talk about StingRay Studios. Where did it all begin?
Well, the studio started in '96, to be honest with you. I wouldn't say that's where it began, but that's where I decided to create something for myself. In terms of the music business, StingRay Records started from '92, really, you know. But it's just been amongst friends during the music business that owned their own studio, you know. That just gave me the idea to just put something together, you know. And I'm working alongside my brother, which is Ray. He's not here. He's never here for the interview. I'll represent him. Yeah. You know. And that's it. We just decided that, you know, let's have our own. So yeah, we decided to go for it. So we started this in '96, and it's just been going ever since.
So how many members are there in StingRay Studios?
Well, there's a lot of members still, if you want to break it down, but really and truly, it's a family-owned business.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your passion for music, where did it all start?
I feel I'm born with a passion still. Mother always tell me that, but that's the beginning. And then I grow into it. You know, I used to be a musician from in the early days, being in school.
Okay.
You know, and a lot of my friends that I was amongst are still musicians now.
Okay, yeah.
Part of mainly the Rough Cut band that's here in the UK. Don Campbell, and you know, we all kind of put this thing together and started that we're going to be a group, which we went by the name of Elect. And that was from like 79, 1980, 81. And my love for music was so much more, because I mean they sticked on the road with being a musician, but I diverted and I got involved with sound system. I got involved with radio, DJ. I just got involved with the old thing about music, and now it's come all the way back round where I'm actually doing gone back, but not being a musician, but as a producer, which is more the creation of music, you know. So. And
that's where your passion lies currently.
Anything to do with
music now.
You know, but yes, I've made it my passion. I've made it my business. You know. Yeah. So yeah, that's where the love is.
So you've worked and produced for a lot of artists: Peter Hardingale, Lloyd Brown, Dennis Brown. So is there anyone that you haven't worked with that you would really, really love to work with?
I would have really loved to work with Bob Marley, but you know, I mean, that's kind of a bit before my time. But yeah, I'd like to work. There is a few artists I really would like to work with. I'd love to work with Marley, the Sons. Definitely would. You know, Julian uses it every now and then, but I'd really like to work with Damien. I would just like to work with the whole industry, really, basically. But I mean, sometimes it's time. You know, you can't get them all in at once. I mean, many has passed through, and maybe not worked at the time, and I would have really loved to work with them. But yeah, I just like to keep myself current. So most of the main artists that's still active and doing a lot today, I would really love to work with. But you know, everything within time, because music is not like a one-day thing. It's not. Many people may look at it like that, to how it's developed now because of all this internet, you know, new order, I'd call it. You know, but so be it, you know. I mean, we just continue to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would you describe the production style of StingRay Studios?
Well, my style of production kind of takes me back to when I was a little boy. The kind of music I grew up listening, my mother and father playing, and the era that I was in music was from the early 70s. So I kind of started out reproducing a lot of those old tracks that I liked or loved as a boy. And maybe there was just one version of that rhythm, and I just felt like, you know, I want to have a version of my own. So we'll play back that track nowadays style, and I'll get some of the new singers to put a nice song on that kind of rhythm. So my kind of style is really like coming back from the rock steady and the beginning of reggae, you know. So it's more big people, a bigger people kind of thing, right? You know. Yeah. But we try and work with the earlier artists, and let them develop some kind of song and those kind of old tracks, you know. But yeah, that's where I'd say StingRay is more the vibration of the songs and the tracks and the kind of rhythm we play. You know, it's more the 70s, 80s style of reggae.
What is like a big positive about being a producer?
What's being positive? We can look at that in all different elements, you know. Because a producer would have so much to say whether it's good or bad, you know. But well, me personally, I take my work kind of serious because vocally I like good songs, you know. Good song represent what I'm about and what I'm dealing with. We can get nasty, we can get explicit, or you know, but that's not my line. And you know, I've got kids, I've got grandkids, and I like that when I leave this earth, they can listen back to what I've done and appreciate it and don't see anything bad about what's been done. So, you know, every producer's got their own elements because there is producers what would like the nastiness and like the explicit and things like that. That's their business. But yeah, I just like nice, clean, good songs, you know, and we'll be all right from there.
What's been one of the hardest experiences as a producer?
I don't think there was any hard experience, you know, because everything I do, I just love. So I always look more forward to it. So there was nothing hard about it. But my greatest experience I can really talk about today was working with someone like Dennis Brown. Because growing up as a youth, Dennis Brown has always been my idol. I had every record that Dennis could have ever seen. No one could have told me that about a Dennis tune and I didn't have it. So when it came to that time of working with Dennis Brown, it's like I got a bit nervous still at first. I'm saying, am I really working with Dennis now? And, you know, I couldn't really believe it, you know, because he's like at the top of my list as a singer, and to be starting to work with this guy, there was such a joy, and there was a bit of nervous thing about it, just to know that we're really starting something, you know.
Did you feel you have to get it right? This is Dennis Brown.
Well, I wasn't even thinking of getting it right. I was just thinking of just hurry up and sing the tune. This will be the first tune, you know. This will be the first tune I have from Dennis. So you know,
is that one of your fondest memories?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's like just to know that we've definitely completed the first tune, and then it just went on and it went on. You know, we done 2 projects out of Dennis Brown, and it was just such a joy. The old vibes working with him was good, and we continued that relationship.
Was he an easy artist to work with?
Yeah, he's a good artist, man. And even if there was something bad, I didn't see it, because all I was thinking that, you know, this is like one of the greatest reggae singers for me, you know what I mean? So, and I'm actually working with him as a new like producer in the business, you know what I mean? There was such a joy, you know. So even if there was something bad, I didn't see it at that time. You know, even if the tracks was recording bad, I didn't hear it at that time.
Because it was Dennis Brown.
It was just Dennis Brown, you know. So
apart from Dennis Brown, who else are the artists that you work with? Did you find that it was a good session that you had?
It started to go on and develop more. I started to work with more artists in the range like Marcia Griffiths, Freddie McGregor, you know, in the young artists like Bushman, you know, Tony Curtis, you know, even at first, you know, a lot of my early productions from '92 was more in a different direction than we actually are now, because we started to voice a lot more of the kind of DJ stuff that was going on, you know. So we had like the Saba 2, Simpleton, and these kind of artists that was kind of doing a little thing at the time, you know. But it didn't last too long, you know what I mean? It started to fade out a bit, because I just find that a lot of the younger artists, especially those kind of artists, was getting a bit difficult to work with, and you know, I just felt more comfort when working with vocal singers,
Right.
you know. So that's why, you know, I kept it on that road. I mean, I still work with DJ artists now, but not as much as I would before, you know. I like to feature 1 and 2 and some of the juggling rhythms we have, you know. So yeah, I just kept on working with a lot more vocal artists, you know, Michael Rose, Mikey Spice, Luciano. You know, I'm kind of really connected with a lot of the reggae artists, you know, from being here in the UK and working with them from abroad, you know, in Jamaica and things like that. So
See, I've talked to some other producers as well, because you're in control. Do you ever find that it's hard to ever stop tweaking a song? That moment to actually stop and say it's done now, or do you always find yourself tweaking?
It's funny you ask me that, you know. You see, when you're doing other people's work, I think I'll do less tweaking.
Right.
You know, I just work with the old vibes, and I just believe when it comes together, this is it. When I'm doing my own work, I have to stop myself sometimes. I think sometimes I overdo it, you know. But then it depends on your mood, because to me, it's a mood. If I come in and I'm not in a mood to like mix a track, I don't think you're going to get the best of a mix. If I come in and I'm really ready and set and I'm in the mood, I mean, for any music person, you know, you're a radio DJ, right? Okay, if you're in the mood and you go in the station and you put a track on, that's it. It just starts from that first one, and then the vibes just flow. If you're not in the mood, you're going to find that it's not... Stop. You know, you got to kind of catch up back, and then you fall back behind and you catch up again, you know, because the position you're in, you know what you're doing. Not that you don't know what you're doing, but everything is a mood, you know. Sometimes you come in happy, sometimes you come in miserable. You know, somebody just says something and it just spoil it there. And it works just like that for me. Just like that. So hopefully, depending who you're working with, if they're not going to force an issue to say, look, I want this done now, then it's okay. But if it's an issue where they want to work when you're in a good vibe, then let's try and see how Mondays or Tuesday, and then, you know, we get it done. But yeah, it's a mood. It's all a mood. So, and it comes out in the mix. You know.
As the music industry has changed, it changes all the time.
Yeah.
What now do you think makes a good track?
Wow, that is a good one, isn't it? I'm wondering if to answer that one, because it sounds like a public to answer that one, because sometimes you within yourself would listen to a track and you would love that track so much, but then someone else doesn't see that love that you have for that track. So there's a bit of everything for everyone, you know. So for me to answer that, I don't think I'll be able to answer that question like that. But I believe in what I'm doing, and I will continue what I'm doing. And when I put it out to the public, I'm hoping that their expectation from them will be just as good as how I'm feeling it. And my feedback is the reaction that I get when I put a track out, you know, because sometimes it's my worst tracks that's the best.
Right.
And when I say worst tracks, for me, I'll have some tracks and I'm not feeling those tracks as much, but I just go under the vibe that I'm just going to put it out and see what the feedback's like. And the feedback is greater than I expected. And then what I expect to be great is not as great as I expected. So, from you making good music and you put a lot into it, you know, because there's a wide range of music, you know, and depends if you're going to break it down to brackets like specialists, because there's all different types of music, I mean, reggae, they break it down to so much different brackets. You know, you have the dancehall, then you have the lovers rock, then you have the roots, and you know, they just break it down to different brackets. But it depends how they see it. You know, because dancehall to me can be anything. It's still music, but music was played in a dance.
Yeah.
So I don't know what brackets they're putting it in, but I just put it under one umbrella, which is reggae, which is what I've always known it as. You know, and if you're an entertainer, you're supposed to not entertain. You know, if it's a reggae thing, you're supposed to can entertain the reggae people, whether it's whatever bracket you want to put it down. It's still reggae, dance or lovers rock, roots or whatever. Yeah.
In terms of music, the internet has changed the industry completely.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of you being a producer,
Yeah.
do you find that the internet is helping in the sense for some producers, or actually hindering some producers?
Well, the old technology, to be honest with you, has changed the whole world of music. So I don't know if eventually it would help, or a lot of people would see it as helping, because the computer has done a lot, but it has done a lot of hindering, because it makes it more easy and accessible for people that haven't got much knowledge, like what you have put in, the effort you've put in to put a studio together to make the work proper. They don't need your service, because they'll spend endless nights in their bedroom doing what they're doing, or believe what they're doing is correct or right. So that's why today now it's like a pile of rubbish, and you've got to go into the rubbish and look back and say to yourself, but hold on, this paper I saw is good, and you take it out of the rubbish, and then you know, it's so much that I don't know if it's confusing the people, or it's changed the direction of the old thing, which we've done now. It's gone, because the old sale of music is breakdown. The younger generation has accepted music in a different format, so it has broke down the business very much, very, very much. I mean, the music industry is really suffering global. Yeah. You never used to have artists as producers. You never used to have musicians as producers. You have producers as producers, musicians, artists. Now, you know, if an artist do a one tune and it hit, he believes that I don't need a producer, I don't need a manager, I don't need nobody, I can do this on my own. And it's all because of the internet, you know. So everyone do their thing, they slap it on the internet, it's gone. But it's okay, it's being played, but where's the business element of it, you know? Because a lot of people love music. Music's still being played a lot today. A lot of DJs are getting music so easy nowadays, but there's no business to it. And when the business part do come, the music is out there so much that no one does want to buy the music, so it still breaks down the business. So technology has a lot to blame, and I'm hoping that maybe for the reggae market or the reggae world, it might be something that eventually it will be policed right, that in the next 5 or 10 years, because we all seem to be behind, maybe in the next 5 or 10 years it will be policed away, where it be more organized, and then we can look at it as a proper umbrella of music.
So in terms of StingRay Studios, how are you dealing with the issues of the internet? How are you making sure that StingRay Studios is remaining to that level?
Well, you see, that's where it's gone now. You've got to look at where it is now, because we're coming back from the Asian way of doing things, from machineries now to computer. And vinyl doesn't exist no more. So I mean, for us to continue, we're gonna have to move into the market where it's reached now. It may have taken us longer, but that is the only road or route right now. So we've got to use the social networks. That's where it's at now. There's so many. You know, I mean, we have to choose a few that we couldn't manage, but there are so many. But you know, the main ones, what they mention every day, the Twitter, the Facebook, the MySpace, which was even one of the original ones.
Yeah.
And now you hardly hear about MySpace. You know, this Facebook and Twitter is just taking over.
Yeah.
And I can see why it's taking over, because MySpace was really more music kind of thing, where the artists and musicians, everybody linked. But now the Facebook was more a general thing for everybody to connect. So it's obviously it's going to overpower. So we as a business now decide that, yeah, look, we've got to get with this thing now. We've got to join Facebook, but we're not joining it as just socializing with friends. We're joining and using our business to sell and attract customers and things like that, make them aware of what's going on. Put a little website together, we point them in that direction they can see. We have a little store, which if they go to the website or if they log on, you know, connected through these network, lead them to the store with whatever new is coming. We've got digital online world distributors, what we are registered with, that you know, does our stuff worldwide. So as soon as we've done it, we make sure that they get the product and they serve it to amongst their customers and people that they've got in their listing of works. You know what I mean? So that's where it is. I mean, you've got to use the system now. We can't bypass it anymore, because there's no bypassing, because these kids of today is not into nothing else. So it's got to be a MP3 world or WAV world or wherever it is now. You know, people downloading tracks, they don't even care what information there is about the track. That doesn't exist anymore. It's like a non-existing thing again. You know, as long as they've got the production and they can play it on their phone or they can play it on their computer or their iPod, they're happy. You know? But, you know, from the original world you're coming from, you want to know information. You know, if you're in the music business that deep, you need to know information. You need to know what you're telling to the people. You need to know what you're selling to the people. You know, because if you don't know these things, then there's no information, then you're not helping anyone. You're not helping the producers, you're not helping the engineer, you're not helping the artist. No one knows who's putting all these hit tunes together. They just know that it's being played. You know, it's sad. You know, but as I said, maybe hopefully it will change as it go along, you know, because piracy is another thing to blame. You know, as soon as you get an MP3 track downloaded, you know how much say you lose off just that one?
A lot.
A whole heap. Sometimes you might even just look at it and say it doesn't make no sense to put out the tune, because it's out there already, everybody have it. You burn it, I burn it, everybody starve, I burn it, everybody get it. It's gone, you know. So you have to try to be business-like and know that this track I'm going to put out today, I'm not going to make no one get it. And I'm sorry to blame you radio DJs as well. A lot of you are to blame, because, you know, I used to give out a lot of promos before, and I used to find out that the tracks reach far further than where I wanted to reach, because of this share file thing. You know, so I got to be cautious of what I'm doing. You know, I have to pick and refuse and know when the track is there. I don't mind everyone getting it, because they're gonna help promote it. Yeah, I understand. But for me, for radios, I'm not blamed, because I was a pirate DJ myself, and I love music in that sense, that to come back from all that element. But I used to blame pirate station a lot, because they run rapidly. England especially, there's so much different stations, you know, and they don't work with the industry, the UK industry, how I believe they should. You understand? They will support all the big top artists and things coming from outside of the UK. But I still feel that the UK is not being supported enough through all these medias what we have here. Like, we're not getting supported from our own kind. Where if you look at any other territories like Europe or Jamaica or anywhere else, they'll have their own artists, which they're big up. I'm not saying they won't play a UK artist, they would, but they're bigging up their own artists. If you go to Europe, whether France, Germany, or wherever, they got their own little acts. What's doing reggae, as much as they got the big artists, but they're bigging up their little acts. Now you tell me what stations out of all these stations we have here works like that, because the UK thing is not being big up. So I think we kill ourselves a lot more when it comes to a lot of those things. Same thing with stage shows, performance is the same thing. You don't get much of the UK artists really involved in a lot of these things that's going on. So the whole system needs looking at.
So after saying this, for anyone who'll be watching who are budding producers, what advice would you give them?
Say that again?
So after saying, voicing your concerns about the industry, the internet, what advice would you give budding producers?
To give other producers?
Who want to be producers or aspire to be producers?
Well, the only advice I could give them, if they really want to be a producer, they just got to not look at it as a part-time thing. Maybe they can't do it a full-time thing, but you know, they need to put their effort in there 100% and not just for a one product. You know, it's got to be a continuous thing. Even though they may not get there with the first stuff, but you just have to continue. Whatever you want to do in life, you just have to continue doing it. You know, that's the advice I can give them. I can't give them any other advice like mix it this way or mix it that way, because everybody got their own ways of doing things. You know, it's like food, isn't it? Everybody's got their own way of cooking. So however they want to cook their stuff, that's up to them. You know what I mean? But my advice to them is just keep doing what you're doing, you know, and hopefully we can crack through some kind of hole somewhere, make this thing rise again to where the level where it used to be, where it should be, you know what I mean? Because the UK production team had a good force, and you know, especially from the 70s coming up, music was, the UK was first base, but it's not like that anymore. So you know, we've got to work harder.
Okay, and lastly now, what is the plan for the rest of 2013 for StingRay Studios? Anything big happening for StingRay Studios?
I wish there is. I've got a lot of tracks to put out, you know, and that's my main aim when it comes to music. You know, we've got a Mikey Spice album to come for this year. I've got a Michael Rose album to come for this year. We have a few collections, so basically what I'm doing now is just trying to keep developing new talent as well. You know, I think the music needs a lot of that, and we're not getting a lot coming, but the few that passes, and if we can kind of grab hold of them and let them understand that, look, let's try and rise something to what's going on, you know. I got a few little artists like Tenor Star and Clear Angel that we've been doing quite a few things, especially this artist called Raphaelia. We're doing a lot of work with these new artists, so hopefully, you know what I mean, 2013, 2014, the streets can hear a lot more and get used to these kind of artists, so they'll be amongst the ones that's doing it already as it is. You know, but my aim is just to keep the music going, you know, and hope that, you know, it just stays to the limit, you know, right to the sky.
Okay, Dillie, thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, thank you as well, and you know, I hope everything goes good for you.
Thank you.
I don't mind doing an interview with you guys. Yeah, it's a wonderful interview, so
thank you.
I'll keep the link with you, and hopefully I'll be hearing a lot more of my stuff played now.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I'm standing in front of the Wall of Fame here in the StingRay Studios, and these are some of the artists who have worked with StingRay Studios.